Peter Fraser is with us for Money Monday. Peter is a certified financial planner with Credential Q-Trade Securities and the Alterna Wealth Management Group here in Ottawa. Good morning.
Good morning, Rob.
So, look, it's very timely that we're talking about this. If people have been paying attention to what's happening in some other countries, they will know that people have been taking to the streets of France to riot because the government there wants to raise the retirement age, the so-called retirement age, from 62 to 64. And the French are not impressed about that. And in fact, in the UK, the what they call the retirement age is eventually going to go up to 67 and then 68.
That's right.
So,
yep.
things
call it a scheme.
Yeah, so things are happening. But whether you retire at 62 or 64 or 68, the big thing is, how long do you plan on living, right? Peter?
That's right. Yeah, you make an important point. And it's turning out that how long you live can represent a really significant factor in planning for your retirement, Rob. And that's simply because how much money you might need is impacted in an outsized way by how long you're going to need it for. And we'll get back to that extended retirement pension age in a minute. But if you retired at 65 and only lived to 70 like in years gone by, of course you would need a lot less than if you lived to age 98. So longevity has become one of the most significant knowable factors in the financial plan. And it helps determine how much you will need, how much you can spend, and how much time in that plan there may be to do the things that you want and you like to do. And you and I have talked about this before, but Canadians today are living a lot longer than any previous generation. So that applies in France, that applies in the UK. In fact, a recent UK study projects that Canadians born in 2030 will become our longest living generation. And Stats Canada in our own country says today that the average Canadian will live to be 82, with the 100-year-olds continuing to explode as the fastest growing age cohort in our country.
Yeah, isn't that something? That something?
Yeah, and it's also true that the longer we live, the longer we will live. People can check that out. But a longer life begets an even longer one. So living healthier, more robust lives. Of course, old people don't feel old anymore. They're more vital and younger, and they're doing a lot more at older ages. So, you know, a good financial plan for retirement income to last is no easy feat. And I thought we could just talk a little bit about ways to make that plan for retirement go better when really we don't know with 100% certainty how long we'll need money for.
Yeah. It's kind of a stress test, right?
It kind of is.
Yeah.
Stress in the best sense of the word, or the worst, depending on your point of view. Yeah. But there are some life expectancy calculators out there. This can be kind of fun, and I like a couple. One's called Living to 100, one's called Blueprint Income. But they can be a useful tool to help frame the life expectancy outlook that might be realistic for you. Okay. I always suggest that if you are working with a planner or advisor, ask them what the current age is that your plan is presently projecting. Because a lot of software has a default age to, say, age 90, but you can override these and stretch that out to create an outlook that shows you the additional impact of living longer. And in my own plans, I create them as a standard output with age 100 as the expectancy.
Okay.
And you and I have also talked about this before, but the whole living longer discussion also opens up the idea of flexibility. So maybe you begin with using the average expectancy, build a plan for what happens between ages 65 and 80, but you could also look at a stage 2 plan that could help you draw in other sources of wealth or home equity if it becomes necessary. And, we also know that retirement is changing. Things like phased retirement, whether it's because we're healthier, don't want to hang things up, or in as many cases, there is a legitimate financial shortfall that could help, be mitigated by a reduced workload or a little bit of part-time employment. And, we're also taking more time off and spending our capital during our careers. So if you think of education and starter home assistance, these all impact how much you'll need and how long you'll need it for. And the last little bit that I think is always worth remembering, Rob, is it's a good idea to be on top of whatever guaranteed income is or will be available in a plan. We've got things that are guaranteed indexed lifetime income flows like the CPP and OAS, and they can help build a nice base. But so can structures like annuities, reverse mortgages, and other ideas of that nature. So these last. That's my point here. They last no matter how long you live, and they really do help in not running out of money. So there's a high possibility that a lot of us could live for a full quarter century or more after retiring. And I think this whole area warrants important attention because it's not really a set it and forget it approach. You see these countries really grappling with needing to push people off of making basically retirement claims. And you think, well, what difference does 2 years make? But, people are going to the barricades in some cases because, 2 years makes a lot of difference to the fiscal status of these countries. And, so it's a big consideration.
Yeah.
And,
what difference? Ask the actuaries. Right? Ask the actuaries.
Yeah.
All right, Peter. We have to wrap it up there for this week. Great stuff. Very timely. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rob.
You can always reach Peter at his email, Money Mondays at alterna.ca for Peter Fraser.